Hi, devotioners. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to That's All Devotionals. My goodness, God is so faithful and He's so kind to us. So good that we're able to gather and to have devotion together. You know, devotion is very meaningful to me, and it's called That's All Devotional. That means it's settled. The Word of God is settled. That's all. There's nothing to add to it, nothing to take away from it. It's just forever settled. But devotion is one of the times that I get to spend with God personally. It's very meaningful to me. It's a time where I get to reflect and unwind in the presence of the Lord and to bask into His glory and to hear what He has to say and to make my requests known and to pray on other people's behalf. It's just a great time for God to really open up the scriptures or highlight certain things in my life, and it's a great time. It's a great time to spend, and I'm so happy that I'm getting to spend it with you, and you can hear the pit patter of the raindrops. I love it. It's also meaningful to even this time of what we're going to talk about. It's just so funny that the rain is falling. We're going to talk about a storm-tossed life, today, and how God can meet you in those moments. And so it's quite funny that the rain is falling to represent what we're going to talk about today. But before we get started, again, just want to make sure that you and your families are doing well, and that you experience God in His fullness, and that you're also cultivating your relationship with God, and you are daily having devotions with the Lord, where you're talking to Him and allowing Him to talk back to you. And so I really hope that you're getting to do that. Today's devotion is sparked out of a song that came to me this morning while I was cleaning up the kitchen, and I just started to sing the song, "There is peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. But I have an anchor, I have a rock to build my faith upon. Jesus Christ in the vessel. I feel no alarm, for there is peace in the midst of the storm." And what caught my attention, and I've sang that song so many times before, but this morning it arrested me. And this is what I love about devotion, is that oftentimes for me personally, my devotion is not planned, if you know what I mean. Planned in a sense where, like, I know what I'm going to read and I know what I'm going to study, and I do have an agenda and things like that. But many times my devotion is, I love when my devotion is driven by God. I love when God is the one who calls me into that moment. So yes, so there are times when I go into devotion, right? But there are times when God calls me into devotion, and there are times when you're going to experience that, where God is going to invite you into His space. He's going to say, come on, I know you're washing the dishes, and we're not interrupting that ordinary moments. I'm not interrupting you washing the dishes, but I want to talk to you. Can you pay keen attention to what I'm saying while you're scrub-a-dubbing the cups and the plates and the spoons and the forks? And this is how it happened this morning. I started to sing, "There will be peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. I have an anchor, I have a rock to build my faith upon. Jesus Christ in my vessel, so I feel no alarm, will be peace in the midst of the storm. And I kept singing, there will be peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. And that's where I felt the arrest. A storm-tossed life. And so I knew what to be tossed mean, because I do it all the time. Like when I come in the car, I toss my bag to the passenger side. So it could be gentle, could be a gentle toss. And in this case, and I looked it up and I looked at other definition of the word tossed. It means to rock from side to side, or to go back and forth, side to side, back and forth, side to side, back and forth. You're tossed. And even when you go on the airplanes, and they will tell you to wait until the plane lands before you open the upper compartments. I forgot what it's called right now, because during the flight, your baggages were tossed, and so if you just immediately open it, things will just come falling out, and so they would warn you against that. And I was thinking about it in my own way, and I'm like, so many of us right now are caught in a storm, an unexpected storm, and you're being tossed side to side, back and forth, side to side and back and forth. And you're just going with the flow. You're just going with the motions of the storm and where it's taking you. And some of us, we don't know where we're going to land. We don't have a projected outcome of how this is going to go. And this is where we are. We're just tossed. But the song says there is peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. And I want to encourage you today that there is an anchor. There is a rock that in this moment you can build your faith upon. You can be assured that God is with you, though you feel like you're rocking, your ship is rocking, and your sails may be torn. I want to encourage you that God is with you in the midst of the storm. Hear me. Hear me. He is with you in the midst of your storm. And God is not going to allow you to sink. Yes, water, I think we talked about this the other day. Water may come in. Your sails may be torn. You may feel like you're going back and forth. It just feels like, where am I going? How is this going to land? But I'm telling you, with Christ in the vessel, you don't have to be alarmed, because there is peace. And I'm telling you this, what also came out to me, and this stemmed from something I experienced recently, is that it doesn't always mean like I can't stop the rain from falling unless God tell me to speak to it. I can't stop the rain from falling. Nor can we always control what is happening on the outside. But what I know that God can give you is peace on the inside. That you can sit in your storm and you're getting tossed, but you have a peace inside of you that says that rain is gonna stop falling any day now. Yep, that storm is gonna cease any day now. The external circumstances not changing, but there's peace. There is an assurance that everything is gonna work out all right. Yep, you're rocking. Yeah. Some of our older folks back in the day. I remember used to seeing them just rocking under verandas, just rocking. Sometimes they're humming, they're rocking, and I'm sure they're thinking about 1,000,001 things, but they're rocking. But I know, I'm telling you, that it won't last always. There's gonna be a calm to that storm, and this is what God does in a storm-tossed life. He offers us the peace that passes all understanding and says to us, I know what's going on. I see what's going on. Don't ever think that God is oblivious to what's going on. He knows what is going on. And he's like, I know what the doctors are saying. Yep, I know what the lawyers are saying. Yes, I saw your bank statement. I saw it. Yep. But you can't take any more reds. I see it. The kids are. Yep, I see them. They're not acting right. I understand it. Yep, you've been praying for your backslidden family for so long. Yep. There's some things that you don't fully understand right now. Yep. I know you're waiting for me to answer this prayer. Yes, I do know. Yep, I'm very, very much aware of it. Yep, I know you're asking me where I am and what am I doing. Yep. When am I gonna come through? Yes, I hear you. I see it. Yep, I see the car. Yep, it's broken down. It's on it's on the last leg. Yeah, the transmission is out. Yep. There's radiation issues. Yep, all kinds of stuff. Yep, school fee to pay. Yep, papers to write. Yep. Can't find the lunch money. Can't find money to get groceries. Yep, I get it. I know you're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. Yep, I see all that is happening. Yeah. I see that you're trying to make some changes in your life. I see it. But in everything that's going on, yeah, I see it. I see it. You see it. You're wondering, should I pivot from A to B, from C to D, from A to Z? I hear you. You're trying to figure out, God, is this you or if this not you? Yeah. You're saying, God, should I continue to keep going, or what should I do? Because God, compared to last year and now, Lord, there's a major difference. Like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, God, I thought I was all set in this place, but then all of a sudden I'm asked to pivot here. God, what's happening? What is happening? But there is peace in the midst of all of that and more, because I'm sure you can give me a list. I just barely scratched the surface, but there is peace in the midst of all of that, that while you're rocking side to side and back and forth, that God will give you a perspective that says, listen, I got you. Just keep riding out the storm. Just keep riding out the storm. It's going to end well. You don't see the final leg of the destination. All you see right now is just the in-betweens. That's all you're seeing. But I see the end. Just ride out the storm. Ride out the storm. You feel like your life is going to be, no, just ride out the storm. Just ride out the storm. You feel like there's no better. But God is saying, right? That's what peace does. Peace tells me I may lose some things on the way. I may have to throw over some things overboard. But my life won't be lost. Because once I am breathing, I have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to either pick up where you left off or start over again. God Almighty. As long as you are breathing, there is hope. There is peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. And I close with this. It may be one of my favorite passage of scriptures. I've referred to it many, many times. I believe, God, that it shall be even as it was told me. And this was Paul in the worst storm of his life, physical storm of his life. And they were throwing things overboard, and everybody was worried, obviously. But an angel appeared to Paul and said to Paul, listen, it's going to be all right, Paul. No life is going to be lost. And when everybody else was scurrying and worrying and didn't know what to do, Paul was able to have peace in the midst of that storm and say to them, listen, an angel stood by me this night. An angel stood by me this night and gave me this assurance that we are going to get safe to land. And when everybody was doubting, because what most can see is what they can see. Not everybody can see beyond. But Paul was given a perspective that was beyond the storm. And he was able to say, listen, I know you may not believe me. Same with you right now. I know you may not believe me because you're saying, Danielle, if I ever sit down and tell you how this storm has been raging in my life, you just say, Danielle, I know today, In other words, it's been a while since the storm has been raging, and it just seems like it's not going to end. And here I am telling you that you're going to have peace in the midst of your storm-tossed life, and you're saying, because if you only knew. Remember, Paul was also in the storm. I want to say to you, I'm in the storm. So I know we're gonna get to the other side. And I believe, God, that it shall be even as it was told me. There is peace in the midst of a storm-tossed life. Because our anchor is Jesus. Our rock is Jesus. The one that we can build our faith upon is Jesus. Jesus is, the song says, the sweetest name I know. At the mention of his name, things start to happen. So I'm telling you, you may not believe me right now. And I get it. I understand. I really do. I really do. But I'm here to tell you. Believe God that you're going to get to the other side. And God, the God that I know and the God that I serve, will replenish everything that you've lost. And he will set you up. He will set you up. He will set you up. So hold on a little while longer. Rock. Yeah, man. Just go through it. Rock. Easy, but just go through it. You're gonna get to the other side. And when all hope seemed to be lost, remember that it shall be even as God told you. If you can just hold on to his word, if you can just trust in his word, you're gonna make it. If you can just trust in his word, you're gonna make it. And that's what pulled me into devotion this morning, that song. You could look it up. I actually like the version with Mickey Magnin from the Pentecostal of Alexandria. I like her version of the song. It ministers to me differently. So if you want to look up that version of it too, you're more than inclined to do so. But that's a version that I listen to. And this is how God sometimes speaks to us. It speaks to us through a plethora of ways, and the song is a way that he can get our attention and reveal the next plot, and tell us what is happening or what is to come, and leave us with hope. And that's what I love about God. He never leaves us hopeless. So be encouraged today, and know that the Lord is with you in your storm-tossed life. God bless you in Jesus' name.